파파상 붙이면은 이걸라 드네 무튜니 슈어 제발라 먼저 다 템바 거딘징기 젠랑 바지 이나 드네 최 생켄당 년켄니까기 근홍 삼록당당양 믹스액션 직당 고기어레스.
To continue with the explanation of the Bhadracharya prayer, as a follower of Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, both the teacher and the disciples must generate proper, appropriate motivation.
Tene Zangcho Kortela Chik Hakogugdu Samne Chik Sheyan Tang Zangcho Korlia Juloya Chedu Tsamji Maimba Tene Ngenjung Tezi Gogiaris Korone Neberjunga Samlochik.
The motivation is such that it is not just for knowledge or education, but at the very least we need to generate a certain level of renunciation.
Tene Ngenjung Jachimba Jung Matam Tene Around 10 digging Nangla Tene Tobia second dada, Shoria second dada, Nyemba second dada, Manyemba second dada, then Draw second dada, Dra second dada, Tisolia, Hachangi, that's Hasa, Zinjo, Jathamba, Jayati, that's Shidatunda Nidu, some sort of there, they got some image goddess.
Even if we are not able to generate profound and vast renunciation, at the very least we should see the valuelessness of the 8 worldly dharmas, like the fame, gaining or losing, enemies, friends, and so on.
Tene Titing Dilla, Tene Kasan Shubanaji. Zangbochebate Tekbachimboki do Palbochik do, the young Domboki do, Teji Indu, then Tekbachimboki some Tong the young Eper the goddess.
So, as I mentioned yesterday, that this prayer, Bhadracharya prayer or the prayer of good conduct, is taken from Avatamsaka Sutra, and especially the Gandhavyuha Sutra, and it is a Mahayana Sutra. So since the prayer belongs to the Mahayana Sutra, we also need to generate Mahayana motivation or intention.
Tene Tatela Karigorasana Mantala Niendi Chu Shenkin the Yankenigaki Chu Chenin Jayate Tene Samjin Tam Jigi Dundali in some goddess.
So at the very least, the Mahayana motivation is that at the very least, both the teacher and the disciple must think that we are engaging in this teaching and learning activities for the sake of sentient beings.
Tene Samjin Jengi Dun Sedu Yang, Samjin Jenla, Nekapsu, Tene Kansa Pentoyaki, Tsendila, Jangbal Pentoyaki, somebody in Maimba. Deso, Tene Sanjegi Kopang, Tobiaji, Zoyagi.
When we say to think about other beings, to have that intention to benefit other beings, it's not just for the benefit of the temporary benefit of this life, but actually we need to have that motivation to provide or enlighten other beings, sentient beings.
Tene Sanjeki Kopang top se the ma Ju Meken Sola, Tene Samotang Rabate, Churgi Nelu Chatsang Jimachida Vashindu, Hakot Chatsang Hakotuba Chigla, then the Tarba top Sanjeki Kopang top singing the Richik Chashachin Digidus.
So, for those who are not so familiar with the concept of enlightenment of Buddhahood, you can just have the motivation or the intention that all beings realize the truth, the reality in totality.
Tene nelu 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 chök nelu ha gom matsit kansa chök nelu chasang ha mak gom matu bardo tene marikbi mongpachi kadune lepdegi yar.
Until we realize the truth fully, then we are bound by ignorance.
Tene marikbadi yebi bardo tene marikbala tene nyemongpa dosha shetang singdabudu nyemongpa shendatizu jechang chegi yares.
As long as we have ignorance, then the emotions, the afflicted emotions such as anger, desire, and so on will arise automatically.
Tene dedang nyamdo dedang tunne le dramidache gewa dipa nigache.
So following the emotions, then we will create karma, both positive and negative.
Tene le tela le tigi tene namhin nyamsi nyong.
Then we will have to experience the result of the karma.
Tene le tigi namin nyongdu tene yang marikba sabatinde che nyemongba sabatinde che tende chene tene kora jam de tila tene kamsum kharwe nangla tene garisa gore kamsum kharwe dunghal nyang se de tende chil jugu ars.
So when we experience the ripening of the karma, new emotions and karma will be created, and in this way this cycle will continue, and that this cycle is referred as samsara, or the cyclic existence.
Oda tilla tendegi kamsum kharwala kharwale tarne 대한 랑장바 많이 봐 삼시신다 탐제 타리아기 돈달라 되네 면람 자기 면람 자비야기 체도 되네 면람 그걸라 주여바 제기 섬섬도 된대치네 그는 이게 찌심바이나 되네 태바 첨복이 람라 차기 왔어.
So for the sake of freeing oneself this such kind of cyclic existence, then if we make aspiration or if we generate this motivation or intention to do the aspiration and also to persevere in knowing the aspiration, then this becomes the Mahayana motivation.
테네다 면남데 지당 태거침복 면남 거리나요. 디 나네장 다다다 믹세기 근두상복 면남 다당아라서 뒤진다 상점 면남 세그리 디 테네 대야들라 팬 뺀마세 망보에 숨을 알았어.
Generally in the Mahayana aspiration prayers, and especially in the Samantabhada's prayer of aspiration, this prayer of good conduct, it is said that reciting the prayer of aspiration has enormous benefit.
Tene 대 니마 딱바로 돼야다. 근데 전에다 인다이. 대 마임바 렌직 잠직 대양 때네 장축 샘비기 람 장축 샘비기 연텐 장축 초기 연텐 뜻으로 빼 때네 당화당 대바당 다 니네지 고사레 삼삼럽 딘데기 되니리 전에 직 찹직 된셔바 이나야 뺀반스기 계획서가 첨부요 숨겨와레스.
Of course, there is a great benefit in reciting the prayer on a daily basis, but even to just have that interest or the intention to recite the prayer just once and to long for the Mahayana path, the Mahayana qualities of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and to have that kind of interest brings enormous benefit.
Tene 상주 기 표현하는 숨겨와레. 사차 가사라. tene 다시 신감 초주기 신감 가서 림부치기 젠차기 깡네 되네 사당 미당 사마인기 되네 잘라 린상 첨부터 저기 깡네 야 퓨서티에 자와 초주기 자와 세당 제발 되네 대양 두수 찍던 이 마인바 깔바 망불라 퓨 대바 레장 장제 면람 차찍 되네 장실 초기 연탄을 삼았다는 덤바이나 팬 첨부 요래 송요.
So it is said in the benefit of the Bhadyacharya prayer that the benefit of just reciting the prayer, the Pranidhana prayer once, remembering the qualities and the benefits of the enlightenment, once exceed making offerings to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the 10 directions with all the wealth and the things that exist in all the different kinds of worlds.
Tene tindreki kesha koyongdu tandi kansa manzo le tangboba ya towa cheya kichedu semshuk cheya kichedu tene sanje soge tindre chene ma semshuk cheya kichedu sungjabares tindre tengen yujire.
So it might be possible that these things are stated by Buddhas to the beings in order to inspire the young practitioners.
Tene ta mangbo chikita tan diso taga se chulukbogi kechare menlam segen diso le ichea yoa mare menlam gi pangbo sanje da changju semba diso koran chulukbo so ge java res ta tende kansa tende samlo tanghen yoa ta tiang samlo tang chigre.
So there might be people who think that this prayer is just a religious concept created by religious people, and there's no witness to prove that they are Buddhas and Bodhisattvas.
Tene yang kashe chigi ta sanje de changju semba thamje la ngashi samji michaba yoare top chu yoare tene zumchun namba ji yoare ta te indu kara nganzu ki melam dena tene sanje ki ngashi ki chen thokba meba chen dindre ki jumsenchi tene melam dub dogre se samlo tanghen yoare te yang ta samlo tangthang yakshe de mare se yine ta digi warate.
Some people might think that if Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have these qualities such as the 10 powers for fearlessness, and they have created this prayer, and if we do the prayer, then we can accomplish or fulfill our wishes. This is not the best kind of intention, but still it is good.
다 samlo tangthang yakshe te tene samji michaba kasange nganzu kame chungwai samji michabe nesul tela ta te chik ta dingone mandrawaji redu samsam trebegi somni ji sanayang tene kansa ta samtang yakshuji chagyor.
The best intention or the thought or the attitude in this prayer is, as I mentioned yesterday, even if we have a doubt about the inconceivable concept explained in the sutras, this is the best kind of attitude.
Tene jidang palbochigndo tene dongbokibndo tisunama yoreta tipe masigi jeba yinzang kangata ganeshe gogina haya gogimedo tishe shesaya mare jacheda chone.
So there's a vast explanation of these inconceivable concepts in the Gandhabhyuha Sutra. So since it is too vast, it is not that easy to essentialize the points.
Tene penna jenu norzang 장주 선바 빼나 잠바다부 젤위 kapsu tene 지순 잠바금보기 꾸기 바부 쿵부 레레 나라양 신감 잠소단 제바 망보여 버텐데.
So for instance, when Sudana saw Bodhisattva Maitreya, even in the single pore of Maitreya's Buddha, he could see infinite Buddha fields.
tene shinkam diso re ge nangla yang tene sanje mangbo sanje diso re la yang khol hama so lo tene khashela ja tong ti mum tende yeba.
So in this Buddha philosophy, he saw infinite Buddhas, and each of the Buddhas had different kinds of disciples, infinite disciples.
Tene di nangla yunu norzang khorang yang thongma changchu chodu sem che tene pe changchu chogi yonten la ya lobjong che tene nyamlen che tene ya rimbe ya sa dreba teso ten khorang tento chigla disu chigi tengdira khongi tene zigwi logis na ta logis malab ranglab ta dindegi ta doden dang la yore.
So in that sutra there's a story. So we need to say that this is a story, but there is also the instances of Sudana from the very beginning taking the Bodhisattva vow and following the Mahayana path and accomplishing the stages of the path. These are clearly he could see in each of these.
다 단다 완전 잡을라 상제 생인데 로 니동 압작 해나 중화제 lum빈일 총 되는 나렌자나 까바 로투도 제 넘버 접어 장디 줄을 되는 넘버 접어 장축 신경되게 월 장축 생도 진짜 쉐어 요하래 다데.
So for people like us, there is this story that Buddha appeared 2,500 years ago. Buddha was born in Lumbini, and he went through this penance at the bank of Niranjana and finally attained enlightenment at Bodh Gaya under the Bodhi tree.
어딘데지니 뒤당 초 소소 다 충충들이 쉐어 요하래.
So for us, the details, the small details such as the time, direction, place, and so on.
다 팔부치긴 도기 셰당 제바이나 다당 아랑즈 로 니동 압작인 하나 상제 중월에 세긴 다당 디스테디 부구 충충 깨샤 부구 깨샤래 되어 그랬어.
So the fact that the kind of explanation we get that Buddha was born in 2,500 years in the context of the Avatamsaka Sutra, this is a very childish kind of explanation.
tene bugu 충충 제마 타기 부구 충충 됐어라 칼라 대야라양 칼라 데바 칼라 쇼야 tene 카나리야 주차되야 tene 슈튜버 tene 제네 태고레 마도 람상 코랑 칼라 때 ngoransu mi gemba savana jete 칼라의 쇼기 말에 tene 저골라 슈게야 말레스.
So for small kids like babies, first we need to feed them appropriately, that we need to give food that can fit into the mouth, and then the baby can digest, otherwise everything will get distorted.
tende jen she gogiyo date bugu chungchung 저기 라데네 건조기 삼론하나 쇼야지.
So in the same manner for childish beings, the initiates like us, then the teaching should be given in the same manner as we feed the babies.
대인도 때네 로니동 압작인 해라 야비제보 세장마 윰주마 산제기 세수 퉁 생들에 마 셰고고요.
That's why we have this explanation that Buddha was born in 2000, born to King Suddhodana and Maya Devi and so on. So the teaching should be given in this way.
Tene tanda manzurmanam denken sogeyang sanje shakja tubasing ndingi namkala ye samyagi ta tabshitende pena tadangaransu dadai kapsumanam den tabdiam pena chenzi shojulu sungjabatende dubata ndeyagi tabshese gorobata te sanje shakja tubatang tene kunduzangboda teso gomyagi tabshitende yoare ta teso buguchungchungla ta masherang sheres.
So in this way we have the great masters have explained the ways or the skillful means to recite the prayer, that we visualize Buddhas and Bodhisattva Samantabhadra in the sky. So following the the framework written by Kintsu Shukilodo, this is how the teachings are introduced to the beginners.
Tene nge nganzo ki tadang yabu jindana tene sangje tang 장주 선박군도 상고티 속에 캔저그래 공저그래 대속이 되는 면람 주비기 탑시 만저를 로봇 체계에서 된대지 삼노 삼노는 된대지 요래.
So we also think that if we pray in front of Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, they will hear our prayers and they will know what we wish for and they will support us to fulfill these prayers.
Tene 팔버치 인도기 공전 나진 때 든지 걸라 때 삼모땅 생긴다지 이나 tene tatang yunu norzang maji nganzo chik sangje segende lo nitong abja gi hen jen sarjo gi sangje chik le ya mebache kongi chen rogere samson do tinde ge kangye gangyang gogo samar.
So for those who can understand the view stated in the sutras such as Avatamsaka Sutra, then for those they don't need to go through these details of Buddha being born 2,500 years ago and so on.
Tene tanda nganzo malam dendu kana tada yunu norzangi kongrang tangbo 장주 chodu semche tene kale jabata teso tento chik ke chikla tene thongtuba naji te nganzo yang tene maungpana leji tiba thamje sab rodu kana tange mandinde chen tene jagar doji tene ya ngadro lang tene chuzo jebalu khansa malam den tene ningung khala se teso yongso korang kechik tento chikla thongya tende yoba insare.
So if we can understand the view stated in the Avatamsaka Sutra, then just as the Bodhisattva Sudana could see in one instant, on one moment, all the activities he has engaged. Likewise, the activities we do here gradually, starting the prayer at 8 in the morning until 5 in the evening, this all can be accomplished in one single moment.
Tene ti tata tanda ngaransu ta khani ma shedu kana ngema tende cheba yinse tende laba re ma to de maong tata sengende tende gi tugi keshatsan me yinse.
So although we speak about these elaborations of time, in actuality there is no such thing as in the past, present and future in the ultimate sense.
Chezang melam mindub yagi jumsen san me yinse.
So there is no reason why the prayer cannot be fulfilled or accomplished.
Chezang ta tata zanjek melam nandala tejinshik ba mangbola chochula rimbuchi kangne lada mi tene longje pure lejang zanjek melam sajik ndana pento chegi yore sekende kesha korang 가르쳐고 우리 잡으셔 같은데 말다스 땡거네 정작 뭐마 데려디어.
So the fact that in the Pranita Naraja prayer that it says that reciting the Vajracharya prayer once exceeds making offerings to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas with all the things and wealth that exist in all the universe is not just a story made up by somebody. It is a fact, it is a reality.
Then they short tagas keshi sugar tensong tatande shada nan lomnyan nangke nganzu tabatsa do tene chije chone mangbodu tene nganzu tujin ngebogi kansa shetchin second nang uma second tadu ta tabe kolya lobjong chegi yes sungyor.
So I'm going to mention this as an additional point since many of the people present here are studying in the school, in the Shedras, and then also there are other students. So in the philosophical institutions, when they study subjects such as Prajnaparamita or Madhyamika, they're supposed to be studying the view.
Tene Uma second about the Lobjon Jedugana, so Tene Tapshit about the Toges Duta Rikpa Jumsen down.
So when in the scholastic settings, when we study subjects such as Madhyamika, the approach is through logical analysis, so intellectual approach.
Tene Tajiki Chewa Kaya second on Tesore Yang Jinga Gold Tende Jan, Tene Tesol Patsu Kamenane, Tene Taji don't Tajig Trabadan Trabadan, Tende Chen Tabadugi artists.
So the view, in these subjects, the view is established through refuting birth from 4 extremes, 8 extremes, by imagining an opponent, and this is ascertained through by means of debate or argument.
Chesata Javim Shervich Pardachimba singing Radon, Tene Kansa, Tombani singing to Tena Pap, Tendation, Tandover, Jotang Chik Dere.
So this is one way to establish or to explain the view of emptiness or prajna paramita in the texts such as Madhyamika and prajna paramita.
Tene Kansa Kashelani, that Tanda Palbochik don't Suwanaji, Metopemi Dongbochik, or Titan, Metopemi Dongbo Nishitanga, Yard Dignity, or Tinan Latene. Metopemi Dongba Chicken on Layan, Shinkam, that's over your second of a dingy, Jene Kamenon, young Dilatene, Tajidan, Tajedan, Tizuku Trebadan, Tralta, Sanji, and then some Jimmy have been Hakotubaki Genji, Chagi Saris.
For some, as explained in the Avatamsaka Sutra or in this place, in this prayer, that in the prayer it explains that in one lotus there are infinite lotus, and then Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, which is kind of limitless and inconceivable. So this is one way of understanding the view of emptiness of prajna paramita.
Tingi Takas Chinzel Shuju Shuyadi, Kashegi. Namba Sanjabi Tony Gom Tobia the Kari Tobia me Kaya Mecho Tong Hare Tindiji in Hang Sharkin to the Ujiris.
So this is an additional point. There may be some people thinking that emptiness is voidness, that nothingness.
The Tindemare Tongbani To second Gekeshatang Dulci Tangla Dul Nig Sanje Tong second thing Tondajiva Chaders.
So it is not like that. So the concept of realizing the view of emptiness and being able to digest that each atom has infinite atoms, they are actually the same in essence.
대나지 가서 시원하지 때는 대비 상제라야 차체야 요바 다디 상제라야 차체야 요바 마음비 상제라야 차체야 요래 생긴 삼로돼서 때니 동이 다티서 동이 학 동이 최탐적인 로 동반이 미줌센지 되서트고요.
Therefore, the attitude that we can prostrate to the past Buddhas, present Buddhas, future Buddhas, this is possible because of the view of emptiness, that everything is empty, shunyata in nature.
된지당 된데 송양 송그래 최탐적 동반이 임발라 되네 자제 룽와디 탄주르바기 최초인 선에베 강사 몸몸전 해야지 되레스.
So it is said in the Madhyamika teachings that because of emptiness, the view of emptiness, everything is possible. All the activities and actions are possible.
어때인도가나? 되네 상적 만남 네 찰직 ndambatsam지기양 녜송탐지 빵.
So for this reason, just reciting the prayer of good conduct once, one will be able to transcend the rebirth in lower realms.
되네 상적 만남디 라 상적 만남 찰직 ndambatsam지기양 조뽕님바 빵.
So just by reciting the prayer once, one will be able to avoid and discard evil friends, non-virtuous friends.
Then dropping embassy young chick 가르쳐그래 다 남인 제중행기 dropp어서 인지를 돼 있네. 대서도 drop 연셔다 인지 인사 말듯어. 즉 롱년도 따주겐다 즉 뮤직도 년주겐다 뜻이다 drop 득셔도 지 말고 뜻어.
So when we say evil friends or bad friends, it may not necessarily refer to those who make you get distracted, like taking you to the movies and so on. They are not really bad friends.
drop 득셔 때 똥번이기 된달라 같이 있는 미매버서케 되네 drop 득셔 때변나 다다 메토페마 지기 된달 메토페마 니슈짱아요의 디난들 레레신도한테는 상제기 신감 멈춰 망보 요르 생각해서 다들 다가 스케치를 생각해봤더니 망보시에 된 대소는 고토면 drop 엠바티서래.
So the worst friend is the one who derails you from having this interest and devotion in the view of emptiness, and also makes you disbelieve in the concepts such as in one single lotus there are 25 lotus, and each of the lotus has infinite Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So the one who makes you not believe in such kind of concept is the bad friend or the evil friend.
되네 강사 상제면은 덤비기 줄었더니 나와타에 외바메기 샬리안 저번 제그레스.
So through the power of reciting the prayer of Bhadyacharya, the prayer of good conduct, one can see that, have a glimpse of Amitabha Buddha swiftly or very soon.
되네 상제 외바도 매바 생인데야 양 거래 대 삼마당 땅땅 망버래.
So there's so many different ways of to think about or to approach the Buddha Amitabha.
되네 외바도 매바 생인데 두준 간줄라 되네 상제 군도 말보 되네 니네 바님 강사 니만 늪이 철로 요르스는 바다 캐드브라가 아스 라속비 송저기 대신 신견나는 요래. 대서 다
Generally, when we say Amitabha Buddha, as stated in the prayers or the Sukhavati prayer written by Raga Asa, it's stated that Amitabha is red in color and he resides in the western direction.
Tene inayang sanje we padumeba nawa ta ye singdabu sik desok samjilla tene samyabu tangwa ina 대양 양 삼심이 집에는 저탐지 sabjing draba 대랑 땡겨요. 땡주.
So if we think deeply about Buddha Amitabha, the Buddha of limitless light, then this again actually essentially talks about the inconceivable nature.
이나양 then Sanjay Namathe Tensam Yila Cheatang, Yang Kundo Marbotang, then Shinkamgi Kuba Yila Chebatamjigi Yang, Sanjay Janjusim Batamjigi Tukjetam Melam Latene, Tisogia Hajangi Pentahoyaris.
So for this reason, just by remembering the name or the form or the color of Amitabha, through the power of the blessings and the aspirations of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, one can actually fulfill the wish.
Tene Zanje Malam Dembig Jumsenji, never leper near Sidukana, Tobia Yakutinde Togre Songe.
So through the power, it is said in the prayer that through reciting the prayer, one can get the good things, the desirable things one wish for.
Da Tobia Yaku Sunyate, so Tekbachimbi Givishin the Shaljalia.
So when we say, getting the good things, refer to encountering the Mahayana, qualified Mahayana teacher.
Tene Tekbachimbugi Chula Mebatang, Gaboyan Kengi, Drawtang, Yen, Dendetang, Yamdo Te.
and to encounter or meet friends who have devotion and interest in the Mahayana teachings.
Tene tekwa chimbo dang tena terdal dang tendrele judo cheki mitisogi korlayas kansa hako.
And to meet with people who really make effort to know about the beings who explain the view of Shunyata and so on.
Pena ngajuda jina gombo ludu singde batiso ta misindi dang gonyong yoro te pe masigi tene kansa sonam yebe kitares.
For instance, we have heard about Nagarjuna who explains Shunyata, and it is the result of having great merit that we have accumulated in the past life.
Shivala singin dinde gonyong yore te mitsebi chönjuk singin dinde chik pesha chik dinde yeba yang hago pesha chik yeba hago watam jimai batiso le yang tosamra tses che teso pe masigi nyeba lekba nyeba res.
So we have also heard about Shantideva, his text Bodhisattva Avatara. Not only that, we have also received teachings and heard the teachings. So this amounts to getting the desirable things or the good things.
Tene tandi tishesh tene chagosre kansa zamboche bigi dembigi jumtsenji tene kansa lej driba jangres tinanga chambres.
It is said in the prayer that through reciting the prayer of good conduct, one will be able to purify the karmic defilements. So this is very important.
Karesana digba jangya tang digba jangya singin tu tez dragos karesan ko dugjaji ba kogoro ta.
The reason is that it seems easier to understand the concept of purifying the negative the defilements of negative actions.
Tene lej diba singin ti tez kalakaboyor.
But it is difficult, slightly difficult to understand the obscuration or the defilement of karma, the karmic defilements.
Karesana yang lej penchi thodeyor.
The reason is that we benefit from the karma or the action.
Ta tarba thobde kana le yangsu zoba ledip tamche jangogor mato yang tarba thobge mar.
So one does not attain nirvana or liberation until we purify the karma completely or perfectly.
The legitimate ngorangso lamgo na ji reso ta ti phenge yor de ji gani ongor wat. And the ganga kan yena mandik tujamna mandik pide go.
The karmic defilement seems to be like shoes because it benefits us, we can wear it, but sometimes when we take shower and so on, then we need to take off those. So we can't wear shoes while taking shower.
Tene ledip di pangya yang kalakabo yosar pe damito be gi sherap dang yishidang tendrik ledip thabo deso tendrik nyembo tenne pang na ma pang mithoya tendre.
So it seems extremely difficult to abandon or discard the karmic defilements, the defilements of actions. So they can only be purified by applying the antidote of the non-dual wisdom and so on.
Ta tendre ki pe masigi dode tisun nandala kansa mangbosung yo pe na gombulu yang tene thama shivar shekdu kana tene tsa jangmachi gi uche ne tene shivar shekbe gi loju tisu te jumsen kharesana ledip chikuje mangbo gi hela tene mbuchi 근데 믹스기 강서 세바든데 인사마데 이나야 short 무지 시셔 왔던 다 근데 로지요 다 대소도 삼았던데 레딥 다야 체도 다제 강사 레딥 당연 쪽행기 미나 되네 상주면은 된 거랬다.
So there's so many explanations in the sutras and shastras about the difficult nature of purifying the karmic defilements. For instance, Arya Nagarjuna finally died until his head was cut by a piece of grass, because he had this karmic residue of having accidentally killed an insect in his former lives. So these karmic defilements can be purified through reciting the aspiration prayers, especially the Bhadracharya prayer, the prayer of good conduct.
그다들이 참여가 보다 이건 강림이 심한 게지만 대이상 버저버티지는 유도 말이용 수 장으로 주주